Hi guys! First thing I need to do is apologize for the quality of the video. When recording it, I used a friend's phone. I kind of improvised the idea. I did take my tripod, as you can see in the image, to my local store to record the pre-release. It was kind of like a last minute idea that a friend told me to do it, and I just grabbed the tripod and I left the house, and I didn't really have a lot of battery on my phone, so I ended up using a friend's phone in the end to record, and just blinks out like that. Anyway, welcome to the pre-release. So in this first part of the video, what we're gonna do is just open up the packs and just show them to you guys, just to see what my pool is. Not to spoil anything, but to be honest, I got a really good pool. At least value-wise. And at the time, of course. Some of the prices you're seeing on screen might have changed since I edited the video, but they should roughly be around the same. Like, since the first pack, my head was already going like Selesnya, right? Just green and white, just between the promo and that one Selesnya card that I got at the beginning. Eventually, I do open up a certain Golgari card that I was like, maybe we can go for 3 colors, and then the card I got immediately afterwards was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? What color, what am I gonna play? But I always say in pre-release, don't get distracted with all the rares and all the different colors. Just have a look at your commons and uncommons and see which seems to synergize best. It's better to have a synergistic deck, right, with commons and uncommons than to have like all your rares together and it not working. Because yeah, if you hit your rares and you play them, they might win the game for you, but you might never get to play them. You might get mana screwed, especially if you try to go for like 4 colors because you really like all your rares and it's like, no, you gotta pick. Anyway, looking at the pool that I got, I mostly got white cards, but it's really pretty much spread out. So just because I have 2 Selesnya cards, I just thought, okay, we'll just go Selesnya and let's just see how that works. A lot of times when you're playing sealed, the deck just kind of makes itself. So you open all your packs and then you see that you've mostly got red and green cards, then you know you're gonna go Gruul. Unless maybe your red cards are really bad and you might want to try and splash a different color instead. I've played sealed. I've played pre-releases where I had a lot of green cards, but I had 4 green creatures in all my green cards. It was mostly like 5 copies of the same sorcery and then just a few other instants and maybe enchantments and stuff like that, but not actually creatures. And then on my other main color, there was 6, 7 creatures and you're like, it's not enough. I need my second color to also have around 6 to 7 creatures so I don't get screwed over. And I just had to ditch the green altogether. Luckily that didn't happen here, as you're about to see right now. So, this is what we have. This is our pool. We have white, blue, and green. We also have a lot of red and black, but we have slightly more of the other 3 colors, so my mind immediately went to, let's go for green and white, maybe splash a bit of blue because we do have a Simic card that was pretty decent as a finisher. Let's see where that takes us. So here was my idea. As I said, mainly we went for green and white, and we did play Seat of Arma as our blue splash. So to be able to have a bit of blue, we added an island, and we had 2 lands that could help us get blue as well. We had a tap land that just gains us a life, and we also had this one that lets us choose a color when the land enters. Not only that, but we played not 1, but 2 copies of this artifact creature with Defender that is good for crewing, but also could create a treasure in some situations that could help us pay for that blue. We also had this other 1/1 that could add a mana of any color, which could help. We played, I think it's a reference to Mario, just as a mana sink. So basically, if we're in the late stages of the game and we're stuck and we've got this guy in the battlefield, we can at least keep paying 4 to keep adding 1/1 counters to our vehicles. Then we've got an artifact mana reducer, a couple of big creatures with cycling. If we draw it early, we can cycle it, draw a card. If we draw it near the end, then it's a big creature that gains us life. It has reach. We also have the Venom Sac Lagak, which I am a really big fan of because of the name. The White Vanilla Legendary, which is for 2 or 3/3. We have another little artifact creature with 4 toughness, so it's a good blocker, then it can crew with its toughness. And we've got 2 copies of this guy. Speed is not a thing we really care about in this deck, but you never know. It could potentially give you a card draw at some point. Now let's talk vehicles. We've got 3. We have this rare, which to be honest, I really like. At the end of your opponent's turn, you can just tap 3 creatures and put a counter on it and it just keeps growing and growing until you really need it. Then another flying vehicle, 3-3, flying vigilance, cruise for 1, not bad. And then this top end removal vehicle, so it exiles something from our opponent and it's then a 6-6, which is still pretty good. Speaking of removal, we've got this that allows one of our creatures to hit one of our opponent's creatures. We've got a way to destroy flying creatures, and we have ways to destroy artifacts or to deal a certain amount of damage depending on how many creatures and artifacts we have. So removal wise, we're doing pretty good. Oh, and we can exile. Finally, we have 2 ways of reanimating our creatures, right? So we have this one, which just reanimates an artifact, and if it's not a creature, it turns it into a creature. And we have this other one where we can return up to 4 different permanents, right? A normal creature, a vanilla creature, a mount, and a vehicle. This could be really big in the late game. So, now that you know what my deck is, and how it looks like, and how it's supposed to function, you probably want to know how it did. Ha llegado el momento. No, el audio se corta. Los comentarios van después.
Podemos insultarte ahora, ¿no?
Sí, completamente.
¿Has visto tu carta? ¿Te das cuenta de que has aprendido el inglés? Está feo, ¿eh? ¿Has mirado tu carta?
Hay más público y vosotros sois
Si quieres
bilingües.
estas 3,
Ahí, si puedes no dejarla
es
ahí.
que esta sí me mola. Estas las pondré en un sitio.
Un zombie.
Otro cromo. Sería fantástico.
Esta la quiero, esta la quiero.
Será la angustia. No, me costaría mucho tener un
¿Ves? Es lo que te he dicho. Es como, ¡guau! Te emocionas porque es bien colorín